Okay, hi. Uh, I want to apologize that the PowerPoint that is talked about in this week's materials to help you do the budget allocation assignment is not actually done. Uh, and last time, actually, when I taught the course, I did the explanation as a YouTube assignment, I mean a YouTube video. It didn't get transferred into this course, and so I'm forced to do a little catch up here and to do yet another YouTube video. Hopefully, I'll do a real relay video that goes into the official compendium of the course, so this doesn't happen again. So I apologize for that, but here comes the quick video. Allocating cost of shared items across various budgets can be hard if you don't know the precise amount of benefit that went to each of those various budgets. One example might be there's a copier machine that is, on the second floor, and there are 3 or 4 different programs that are on the second floor, and they all use the copier, but the copier is old school and it doesn't really have a counter on it. So how do you actually allocate the cost of the copier and all the copies that are made across the various program budgets of the budgets of the programs that actually use the copier? That's one example. Another example is, say there are 3 programs and there's a vice president over those 3 programs. How do you allocate the cost of his salary and benefits across those 3 programs? You could just do a third, but maybe the programs are of different size, and frankly, he doesn't really keep an hourly account of where he's spending his time. So again, you have this question of how do you allocate a shared resource and a shared cost? Well, the way you do it, if you don't have a precise measurement of the costs that are actually being spent on or are benefiting a particular program, a shared benefit that is, or a shared cost, you find a common variable that is common to all of the programs or the budgets to which you want to allocate the cost, and then on a percentage basis you find out the percentages of those the common cost, and then allocate against the big cost that you want to allocate across all of the budgets. Now that probably made no sense whatsoever. So here's the example. Okay, basically we've got a vice president of criminal justice. The salary and benefits is $100,000, and that VP is in charge of 3 programs: juvenile delinquent day program, an adult day program, and a juvenile residential program. Now, the VP is not keeping a precise record of time spent on each program. And frankly, there are times when he is or she is in meetings at the central office with the officers of the organization that really doesn't have anything to do with any of those 3 programs. Nonetheless, his time has to be, or her time has to be accounted for and allocated to those 3 budgets. So how do you do it? One way to do it is to just think about what are the total dollar amounts of the budgets of these 3 programs that the VP is in charge of without his actual salary yet allocated. And you can see here, just hypothetically, The Juvenile Justice Program is a $1 million contract. The Adult Day Program is a $2 million contract. And the Juvenile Residential Program is again another $2 million contract. So in total, the Vice President is responsible for $5 million worth of programming. So if you think about what percentage of that $5 million is money that funds the Juvenile Justice Day Program, the Juvenile Day Program, it's really 20% of the total, right? 1 million of 5 million is 20%. Likewise, you can think about the relative size of the Adult Day Program, the total budget that is, to the total amount of contract dollars that the VP is responsible for. That comes out to be 40%, right? 2 million of 5 million is 40%. Same thing here. If you think about the Juvenile Residential Program, it is 2 million. It's 2 million, and 2 million out of 5 million, which is the total, is another 40%. So you now have percentages that you can use for allocating the $100,000 salary. And you can use those percentages to allocate the $100,000 to the various program budgets. So 20% of $100,000 is $20,000, and we will give that to the Juvenile Day Program. 40% of $100,000 is $40,000, and we will add that to the Adult Day Program. And likewise, 40% of $100,000 is $40,000, and we will allocate that to the Juvenile Residential Program. And so in total, these allocations, separate allocations to the various program budgets, add up to the $100,000 of the VP that you have to allocate across. And the methodology is based upon what proportion of the total dollar amount, contract amounts that the VP is responsible for does each program constitute. Okay? And you can use that same methodology for allocating budget, for allocating shared budget costs to individual program budgets. Okay? And that should, and if you use that methodology on this week's assignment, you'll be fine. And if that didn't ring true, or you have a question, please always call 413-237-7475. Okay? Thank you.